Well, you're in
Yeah.
my neck of the woods, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm stalking you and you didn't know it.
Well, when you come up here to Detroit, make sure you let me know.
Who's that lives in
I
Detroit?
will.
Who's that that lives in Detroit?
I don't know. We're not going to say anything because David might get upset.
And David, you live in Detroit?
I do.
Oh, we moved here from Detroit in 2020.
I moved down from Detroit. I went to Tennessee in 2003, and I just came back last year.
What suburb do you live in?
East Detroit.
Okay, and my husband grew up near Grosse Pointe.
Okay.
Right.
Hey,
A
Harry,
little bit further than me.
and Harry, you thought you owned Detroit, right? You had no idea.
That's right. I didn't know you're from Detroit. Oh my goodness gracious. That's funny. We moved here from West Bloomfield is where we lived.
Actually,
Okay.
East Detroit no longer exists. It's called East Point.
Yeah, it's called East Point. You're right. You're right. My brother-in-law had his
This is
practice there. It's called East Point.
Well,
Cool.
East Detroit, like real East Detroit is like
You mean the
more
east
downtown, but
side of Detroit?
yeah, but they've kind of messed it up because you also have all the stadiums were built, which is garbage. I hate how all the stadiums is in one place.
Well, when you have 30 or 40 billion to dispute it, then we got something to talk about.
That'll be soon.
I feel like I was invited to a reunion right now, Detroit.
It's so funny. I know. So, and Steve, I just had a meeting with somebody who wants to join Pitch, so I have to get on your calendar for next week. Young guy.
Absolutely.
Young, yep. And he's another Floridian. Thank you, Lord. You know, it's great. So,
I love that. Starting off of your story yesterday, of doing the international translations, I just want you to know again the impact that you had on other people, right, who heard that story. So Phil, right, literally after listening to you, he ran to Google Chat, right? He translated, right, this video into Russian,
oh my
right?
goodness. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. He translated into Ukrainian, right?
Okay.
So he sends it to this Ukrainian, woman, and she tells him, "Hey, that's really great, but I don't speak Ukrainian. Most of our Ukrainians here speak Russian." Right? So he goes, "Oh my God," So he redoes it. He sends it in Russian, and she goes, "That is absolutely amazing." And she signed up. As opposed to the compliments, like it's signed up, it's cute, but I have no use for it. Like you say, it's hear it and actually sign up because it was that she could literally see the use case. It was so great.
That's-
And so again, that's why it's so important to be part of a community, right? And how you inspire and move other people. And one of the things that moved me yesterday is Dave introduced me to a gentleman. I think he's on today. Is Mike Cronin, and I don't know Mike, other than having done a demo for him, and but I did know from that demo that he's been. And Mike, I hope I don't want to embarrass you, but he's been enormously successful in many different careers, right? He's certainly not looking for another opportunity, in his life, right? And I did the demo for him, and he was the same as everyone, right? Oh my God, how can I use this? How can other people use it, right? And I just was so amazed that he went and then he immediately took that video, less than a minute, right? And this is what he did, right? And I know you're going to be surprised about why I'm so surprised if I can find it here and play it right for 1 second. And I want to then put it in context. 1 second here. I'm going to find it. I think it's this one. It's not. No, wait, it's the other one first. Okay. Let me stop sharing to the other one because he did two. I'm actually going to show you two, but I do need to find it. What happens when I have too many things open, right? Here it is.
Hello, Michael Cronin here. Interested in turning every webinar, text, email, or live stream into an interactive moment? Then listen to this. Every day, 550 million people watch a live webinar. 185 billion texts are sent, 100 billion emails are read, and 1.5 billion people watch a live stream weekly. With Pitch's platform, we make every one of those points of contact an interactive experience. Guests can shop, enroll, sign contracts, book appointments, or hear you in any language. We don't want to change what you do, but we do want to change your results. Learn more, watch a detailed demo, or book a live session to understand why pitch and why now and what it can do for you.
You know why I love that one? It's better than what I did. It's a better version, right, of me. When I do it, I sound like I'm selling. He sounds like he's just talking, right? Like I could listen to him all day long, right? No professional, never made an avatar in his life, doesn't even understand what pitch is yet, right? Quite honestly, right? Just getting his arms around it. And he was able to go in and he now has a presentation tool, right? Without having to worry about what to say, that's what I meant. I was just so blown away that sometimes we have a process, right? And the process works, right? He came back on a demo today to now, because again, you know Rachel better than anyone else. You go a demo, you think you know it. You go and do it, and now you have questions, right? So he came in, 15-minute demo, cleared up a few questions, right? And then we come back and now let me show you this, right? Second here, I have it. Second, I know I can find it at some point in my life. Second. Here it is. Okay.
Chào Michael Cronin, tôi đây. Bạn có hứng thú biến mọi hội thảo trực tuyến, tin nhắn văn bản, email hay livestream thành những khoảnh khắc tương tác?
Okay.
Vậy thì hãy lắng.
So, how long did it take, Rachel, from your idea to him? Not literally 48 hours ago, not even know pitch exists in this world, right? To going to that. He hasn't even done his first meeting yet, right? And
Right.
he's in that positioning and place, right?
Well,
So
It was so easy. I took the script and just put it right on ChatGPT and said, change it. And they did. And I put the script in the other language and boom, boom, and it was ready. It was just so fast. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and then my son said, he said, the Japanese version sounds too serious. And I said, well, you are too serious. He said, but I like the French one. I said, okay, well,
Right.
that's good. So.
And what we're going to go in the direction of, and Harry, you know, this comes from your DNA, right? When Harry was building an international global sales business, right? It wasn't that he did the most complicated marketing materials and the most complicated systems, right? It was about testimonials, right, of other people. You know, like there's a plumber, there's a construction worker, there's a supermarket girl, there's an executive, and you'd always want to find a testimonial that related to that person, right? That so they could relate. You know, even though they were certainly interested in other people's results, but somehow it's like, I'm a construction worker too. Oh, you know, and so when you hear I lost 27 pounds, 3 inches in my waist, and I feel great, by the way, I no longer do construction because so many people were impressed with my results. I now have an alternative income, right? It was like those were the kind of testimonials that were always 100% true, but people heard them differently when they thought that was somebody that came from their world. And so what we want to create, and we're going to leverage a lot of you guys, is if we need to have a library in the back office of if you're a construction worker, right? And how you, and an example of how you're using it. If you're an insurance person, if you're a real estate person. So like, imagine again, a simple 1-minute video that everyone can do and says, you know, hey, I'm Harry Meehan. I've been in real estate for about 25 years. So well, I'm going to say it this way. Imagine getting a thumbnail of your house. And the house says, do you know what this house is worth? Now you're going to open that thumbnail, right? Because it's your house and you're getting this text of unexpected. And when it opens up, it's that local real estate agent in your neighborhood that says, you know, hi, I'm Harry Meehan. I've been in your neighborhood for 25 years. I don't know if we've ever met. I've sold about $25-30 million in this house. And I have a feeling that you might be looking for a change. If you are, I want you to know that I think I could probably get $2.5 million for your house, which I know is more than you expect, but let me tell you why. And you bring up 3 other houses that sold in a different period of time. And you think, if you're at all interested, if I'm right, if my instincts are good, I'd love to meet you. Here's my calendar. You know, here's my phone number. I'd love to talk, right? If a real estate person saw that, so it's not always about transacting, right? It's not, you know, sometimes if you saw that, and I think we could do that for every profession and have that kind of library, I think that would just make your jobs easier, right? As opposed to some other things. So anyway, I was just so excited. I wanted to share that, and it all stems from you guys. And this is it. The company starts out with ideas for me that go to you, and now we're in that cycle where it's your ideas coming back to us. That's materializing, and so I think it's great. Is there anything people want me to go over today? Specify, train. Go ahead, Harry.
I
Kick
I
us
have
off.
two questions.
Uh-huh.
When we make a video that we have to splice together because it's too long, is there a way to get it back into the studio so that we can make a thumbnail out of it?
Yes, I'm saying because the thumbnail doesn't know if you splice 3 or 4 together, right? So I'll show you what I mean. So let me just say this. So right now, our limit on videos because of processing time, and I know a lot of you are going, God, it's taking long. Imagine if it was a 20-minute video, right? You come back a week later, I think it's still processing, right? So what you can do is you can make 3 separate videos, 3 separate 5-minute videos, and then you can go here. So let's say you made 3 videos in your avatar studio, but you really want to do a 15-minute video, right? Let me go here for a second.
My problem is that once I splice together, I deleted them from my library in the back office because I had the finished video, and I didn't realize that when I deleted them in the back office, I no longer have a URL.
But let's say, for instance, for 3 videos that are combined into one, right? You're
Yeah.
going to have one URL, right? As far as our system thinks it's one URL in terms of the recording that you're sending to somebody, right? Even though you may have different websites that you go to, right? As soon as this pops up. So for instance, if I was in here, and so let's say like for me, Alvaro, right, will put 2 or 3 videos together for me. I don't know what software program he uses. It's probably amazingly simple, but I've never done it in my life. So I just call Alvaro and I say, could you, like for instance, when I did the 7.5-minute video, is a good example. That was 3 videos. It was me in the beginning. It was Albert Einstein in the middle. And then it was me at the end. And so I said to him, here's 3 videos, make it into one video. He makes it into one video. He sent it to me on WhatsApp. I downloaded it on my computer. Now I'm outside of the avatar studio, right? Because I've already done the recordings. He's just basically spliced them together for me. He did no editing other than literally attaching 3 videos together that became 8 minutes long, right? And then I went here and I uploaded it from my computer. We don't have a limitation, right, on 5 minutes
That's perfect.
from my computer here, right? So this could be a 15-minute video. It could be, I think it could be an hour video. I'm saying I don't think we have any limitation. Before I say that, I find out, but I just upload the video and I started as the thing. Now I title it. Now I write the description. Now I create the thumbnail.
That's perfect.
Right. So it's that case of, it's easier to do 3 5-minute videos and get them rendered than if I allowed everyone to render a 15-minute video. If that
Yeah, of
makes
course.
sense.
No, that's awesome. So that's very helpful. Thank you. The other one is the translator. And you probably already covered this, when I use the translator, it automatically mutes the other person. So how do I allow them to talk back to me in their language where I hear it in English?
So it doesn't lock them. It only mutes them. They have the ability to unmute themselves as opposed to blocking them, right? So we set it up that way as a default. So as soon as you hit translate, they're all on mute, right? You're talking, okay?
Right.
Now, as the host, it's really important that you set up the right expectation for people. Let them know these things ahead of time. So before I hit translate, the first thing I say to people is when I hit translate, I want you to know you're all going to be on mute. Because if you weren't on mute, right, we could overwhelm the translator, right? And it doesn't know, or if it hears background noise, it's translating your background noise, right? If you have headphones, right? If you add up all these things, right, it can create a bad experience. And so I just want you to know everyone's on mute. When I'm done talking, okay, any one of you, but we just want to do it one at a time,
Yeah.
right, can unmute yourself, right? And it'll translate perfectly. And we had a woman named Abigail, I'm saying, who went through that. She went through the nightmare. Even though I trained her, I told her, I warned her, it's like you're in the moment, you forget, right? And then she called me back and she said, I apologize, it was me. I did 2 meetings since and it worked absolutely perfect because I told them, everyone can't talk exactly the same. The technology cannot have everyone talk to each other as if it's like this in English, right?
So they
So-
can unmute themselves independently.
Right. Now, let's say, for instance, you want control of the meeting where you don't want to allow them to independent, you could always go to webinar mode where they
Yeah.
can't do it and you can still hit translate, or you could just go to participants and there's a button that says block all mics instead of mute all mics. Or you could also block, like sometimes like on the Tuesday night phone calls, I'll mute people. And there's one person that for some reason they're obsessed on, even though they're not going to speak, they keep unblocking themselves. And I can see that in the participant list, right? And so I will block their mic because I don't want to have to keep looking at them, right? That they're going to unmute themselves, in that perspective. So we give you options to mute people and we give you options, I'm saying, to block people from being able to unmute themselves. So
Okay, but with just turning the translator on though, I'm not blocking anybody. They have the ability to unmute themselves.
100%.
Okay.
So now that for somebody who goes, I don't know what they're talking about, they sound like they're really happy with that conversation. Let me show some people here what I mean for a second by sharing the screen. Okay, 1 second here. Share window. There it is. Okay. So now for everyone to catch up, so it looks like English. I'm going to start a meeting here in another meeting. Okay. So now I'm in a brand new meeting. And again, just remember, everyone, it's always critical, right? That even though it says microphone on and camera on and you test, everything looks great, but you didn't pay attention that it's on default AirPods and you actually it may be on your AirPods, could be on your phone, right? And so they're going to go, doesn't work, this doesn't work. And then asking them to go to settings and fix it later on is never a great experience. So you can always, understand that's the issue, not that our software doesn't work. So now I'm in a meeting and let's say you may know that there's international people on, or you may not know. And the great is you don't have to know. So let's say the meeting starts and somebody put the text in the chat and saying, I have someone from Vietnam here today. I understand you guys have real-time voice translation. Can we accommodate? And you say, sure. All I'm going to do, I can find my mouse, there it is I hit translate. And I would say to somebody, as soon as I hit translate, I just want you to know you're all on mute. Okay, but you can unmute yourself at any time, but please don't do that while I'm talking or if somebody else is unmuted, wait for they're done, because otherwise it's just going to be confusing, right? And then I hit start translating. And now everyone's language comes up. And that Vietnamese person could look for his language. And so could anyone else in 40 different languages. So the idea is that 40 different languages can simultaneously being translated, right? It's just hard for people to hear 40 different languages being translated all together. So it's really an individual experience in that perspective. And then anytime you want to stop the
Steve, your
translation,
voice is going in and out.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It's my microphone. So hopefully you can hear me okay. But anyway, that's the concept for translation. Any questions on that?
That was perfect. Thank you for me. That was great. Anybody else has any questions?
Go ahead, Dave. You have a question?
Yeah, so it's it's about two things. One, it's all going to be about the avatar, but the
Sure.
avatar, I was playing with it and I kind of like messed up a little bit, but as I was playing with it, I did create like 4 minutes and stuff like that. Didn't create any of them with my picture because I didn't realize that was for. But I see some of your avatars are like the picture up here, and then you've got a beautiful website, and then you've got the link down here.
Mhm.
It starts out where it's just that, and then it moves up and then has that come here. How do you do that?
Okay. So let me just say this. It's easier for me to show you in the recordings because I could do that. They're just there. So but it works
Well, if
the
these
same.
recordings, I can watch them.
No. When I say recordings, I'm going to show you what I mean in the platform. Let me just go here. I didn't mean for you to go watch a recording. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So here we are. So this is the same in the Avatar Studio, or is the same in the recording? Okay. Let's say, for instance, I've uploaded a video, right? Let's do that one here. Okay. I'm doing Oprah. Okay. We've gone through the avatar process, right? And now I'm going to title it, right? You know, call it Oprah. I'm going to write a description, right? Connection is the key, right? Now, right below that, what do you see? URLs. Okay. I could add as many URLs as I want. And
So when you
notice
make
here,
a URL, that's what shows up in the page over here.
correct. So let's say I'm on one website, right? But I want to show the home page, then I want to show the feature page, then I want to show the pricing page, then I want to go to a completely different website. I want to show the calendar page. So what I can do, which is really, really good, is I can watch her right here in this section
Hello,
and
I
listen
am
to her.
Oprah. I have gone through
And
a
I can
lot
go,
of different chapters in
and
my
let me
life.
fast forward a second. Oh, okay. Because I
Each
think
time we
around,
meet, it can be relevant,
oh
brand
yeah. So around 43 seconds, I want the first website to appear. Now I can literally type it in, or I can cut and paste it from my browser, whatever that may be, which is ever easier to make sure it's right, right? And then I put in 40 seconds.
Mhm.
So right now, because this is the first one that appears, he's going to be on screen, full camera, for 40 seconds. And then because she starts to talk about pitch at 40 seconds, theoretically, I want her to go to the side and the website appears.
Okay.
Okay. Now, once
is
she
the
goes,
website
once
clickable?
she goes, she's not coming back. When she goes, she's going to be on that side, right? We don't have it where we could toggle back and forth, right?
Okay.
And so then the second one would be is, let's say I'm watching a little further, and then I go, okay, at a minute 20, I want to bring up another website, or I want to bring up another page on my website. So I'm going to put pitch.com/features, and I'm going to put that at a minute 20.
Now the
Right.
website, when it's up there, is that clickable? Are they able to click
Oh,
on
yeah.
it? Just like, okay.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of it, right? And then the second part is, right, let's say now I change my mind. All I do is hit delete. So this is dynamically changeable before you send it every single time, permanent, whatever that may be. All of that is changeable. Okay.
Okay. Now I know when you're creating the avatar, even when you have the audio file, because like when you preview the audio file, it costs a credit. If you don't preview it and you just do it, every time there's an audio file, it causes a credit. Even if you already have the audio file, it pulls it in.
Yeah, we're trying to work on it. Like, remember, right now we haven't charged anybody for any credits. So I could be presumptuous, right, about my answer on that one. I'm saying as we're instituting the charges, we're going to try to allow, change that where when you're previewing it, you're not being charged credits, or it'll be a very minimal amount. Because right now in our system, right, every time it hits the computer, it's looking at it as whether you're hitting it for practice or you're hitting it for real, it's the same thing to them. So that's why we haven't started charging yet. I want to make sure that before we ever go into people's pockets on that perspective, we have all those subtleties work out. So like right now, I'm saying we've been, as many of you know, more than generous enough to replenish people credits until we start charging. Because selfishly, we wanted to create these testimonials and these stories. It's not always about, just the financial transactional side of it.
Mhm.
But then, Dave, let me show you. So let's say you finished one, right? And it's up there. And you see here in my library, and again, this is whether it's Avatar Studio or here, right? You can watch it, you can download it, you can edit it, right? When you hit edit, this is where I can once again go in and retitle things. I don't want to call it Instant Meeting. I want to call it my Oprah video.
Okay.
I could change the description. I want to change the time on the websites. I could add different URLs. All this can be edited. And this is where I add my thumbnail. So when you first click on, it's a blank picture and it goes change thumbnail. And you may go, well, that's probably bad language, right? Because there's no thumbnail there. We have to work on that. But literally you hit thumbnail, pick a picture from your computer, and it'll immediately upload. And then notice when I write the description of the thumbnail, right? It types it right here in real time. And also the second line. So this is Oprah, right? This is what I wanted you to watch. So like I say, you could be generic and broad. You could be really specific. It's entirely up to you. And you can always change it. Now in the avatar ones, we've also added the script. So if you've cut and pasted the script on new ones, it should be there as well. Let me show you what I mean by that. Avatar videos. Okay. So the same thing here. It's just a little different editing. So this is watch, this is download, this is share, and this is edit. So you see we've added this one, script. And so if you click on script and you pasted the script and you're generating, it'll be here. So even though unfortunately you can't just right now type in one word and then it all changes, but you can, as you're want to create a new video, at least you'll have a record of the script if you can't find it yourself. But the same thing here, general data, script, share the websites, create the thumbnail. That's what I'm saying. The recordings and this, we kind of mirrored them. So this is one of those where it looks cut off and it's not. That's what somebody said yesterday. It's cut off. No, it's actually not. It's just in the preview it's cut off, but it's not in that sense. Right?
I have a
And-
question. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Is there any way that you can save the script? I keep having to put the script back in every single time. Is there any way of saving it?
Well, that's what this is going to do.
Okay.
So it'll be saved, because that was a really great complaint, not a complaint, but a great suggestion. So now every time the video is done and you put in the script in, it will be right here. So it is, the reason there's no script here is because these are old ones. So it doesn't go back. I have no way of putting the old ones in. So it's really kind of new ones going forward, right? Should have those. Okay.
Thank you.
So that was a good answer for me because the answer is it should be working that way now. Okay.
It does work that way now. My scripts are now being saved as of 3 days ago.
Okay.
This is a good day. I like today. Okay. All right. Any other questions on the avatars? And by the way, Michael, I do see you now. I just want to again thank you for letting me share your videos today and the work that you did. I really appreciate that. Try not to embarrass people. Okay, I've got 3 other people who raised their hands so far.
Go ahead, and then I'll
Let's
come back up.
Okay, let's go. Les, I don't think I've ever had a question from you, so let this be our first.
Sure. Well, I'm brand new, so this could be very basic. But first off, when I come in, I can't find in any way to blur the background, or do you have?
Yeah,
other
you
things?
can. You can actually. Let me show you how we do that.
Okay.
I've got to do that. Hold 1 second here. Let me share my window. Okay. Now, 1 second here. Let's just do this, and I'm gonna start the meeting. So right now we have 2 versions here. In version 1, you can do it before the meeting and it'll be permanent. In version 2, you have to do it just as the meeting starts. So that's one of the reasons why we still have 2 versions. We're merging these features. But let me show you where you would do that. Okay. So let's just say you're off. So let's just say you don't want anyone to see what your background is. So you have your camera off for a second. Then go in settings. And you see here where it says video effect. Here's all your background.
Okay.
So you have
Okay.
blur, slight blur, heavy blur, images,
Right.
or you could also upload one. You don't have to just use the ones that we do.
Okay.
Okay.
Next question: is it possible to change the color of this frame around it? Mine is black, which is very intense.
Yeah, there's a color change here, I believe, right here in the upper right hand corner. Here it says dark mode or light mode.
Huh?
If you want to change your background, see where in the right hand corner, can you see where I just clicked on dark mode versus light mode?
Yes.
So that's where you can change a little bit of the color. That's if I'm answering your
Okay.
question correctly. Okay. God,
Yes.
I love new people. They ask questions that I haven't heard of like in months. These are good ones because I never tell people this
And
stuff.
the other
It's great.
question. Now I'm on a platform. When you click on a tab that they look at later, and I on this that website if they
I'm sorry. You're going in and out, and I couldn't hear that. I don't know if anyone else was able to hear that.
Okay. And, right now I'm on a platform that has a button And when you click it, the website, you can open a tab. There's a website that you sent to here. If somebody wants to see the website that you're showing them, is there any way they can do that besides you sending them a recording after presentation?
So
You understand?
after the, so I'm saying, so after the meeting, you've made a recording and the website is interactive in the recording, right?
But what I'm
But-
saying is there a way for them, okay, at the present time, on them where you click a button and it opens a tab that they can look at later of something you showed them?
Yeah, no, so you're saying, let's say I'm live in the webinar and they're excited about the website, but because it's not opening up another tab and they weren't smart enough to copy and paste the tab ahead of time, that we should have a button to do that. Yeah, that's actually a great suggestion that we've discussed before that we want to implement. So when it's over, it's already in their browser, as opposed to instructing people to do that. So great suggestion, and it's on the list, and that's something that we can easily implement.
But at the present time, they could copy URL and do it?
I'm not sure. I've got to, before I answer that one flippantly, I'd have to look. I'm not sure if they see the URL when it's interactive. I'm not sure. I don't
Okay,
think they
I
do.
don't think they do,
Yeah.
but okay.
Yeah. Okay. No, great
So that's a
questions.
measure, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right,
And,
no,
so-
thank you.
and all the basics and so forth that you need to go through, but
No,
needless to say,
those are all very good points in that sense. Because like he said, like sometimes on our Tuesday night, like when Harry closes the meetings out, he'll say, "Oh, we'll keep the website open for you guys if you want to go ahead and enroll," right? But like they shouldn't have to stay on the website if they don't want to be able to do that. That's only if the host who brought them, would want them to stay and make sure to help them. So there should be a smooth transition to that. I agree.
oh,
Thank
I
you for
do have
that.
another question on the back, where we sent them the URL, you explained it and so forth. Somebody your site for presentation. Is that linked to us?
I couldn't hear that whole question.
Okay, in the back of us, there's the 7-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute, and so forth of you. Okay,
Correct.
and then it has them going to your calendar.
Right now, the way that I set that up, and I think I know your question, and correct me if I'm wrong. So when you have those 7-minute videos, right now I have a corporate website in, and I have my Calendly in. On the corporate website, no one can sign up, right? But what you can do is you can replace my website with yours, right?
Okay.
And here's how you would try to do that. Okay.
Great.
So let's say, for instance, if you notice on any video, whether it be an AI avatar video, or let me go to where we have those, right? Corporate video, right? So you see this button right here where it says download.
Yeah.
It'll download my video onto your computer. It won't download my website. It won't so you have now a standalone copy on your computer, right, of my video. So then what you do is you go to my recordings and then you upload that video as if it's a brand new video.
Okay.
And then you would literally share your URL. So I would hit upload, right? And so now I'm going to select my video, assuming this is an Oprah. This is my 7.5-minute video, right? And when I watch the video, if I want to have it in the exact same times, but also what's nice is you can change it. You can make that different decision. So let's just say, for instance, there's 4 or 5 different websites I bring up at different times. You can match it exactly, or you could change it. So this would be, let's say, the home page, the feature page, the pricing page, and this also could be your Calendly instead of mine. Once you feel comfortable, right? As opposed to them skipping over you and going to me, but that's how you customize it And also,
Okay.
Alvaro is going to change it because we didn't have the scripts in there. They're old. He's adding the scripts. So let's say, for instance, you start out with me, right? And you put in your website, right? And you're pretty proud of yourself. You're right. Okay, I was able to do that. That's great. And then you go, what? You know what? I'm tired of watching Steve do that for my people. I think I could do a better job. And you go, oh, there's the script. The script needs to be modernized. It needs to be fresh. And it's your photograph, right? And it's your script and so that's what I always say about people doing it in steps of level of comfort. Because if I said to you, that's your end game, where you've got to do this yourself. The truth is 90% of the people in 30 days would be back on Zoom. It's too much. I wouldn't get started, right? So that's where we put it back there so you can go into action instantaneously. And then as you get comfortable, and again, Dave's a great example, right? I see on every time he comes in and asks questions, those level of questions and comfort are now coming from strength, not weakness, right? It's not that I don't know how to do it so much. It's like, I want to know how to do it the best, right? And that's where your questions are coming from today. Like, you get the concept completely, but because you just haven't logged in, enough times yet to do it. Like you say, you're brand new.
Right.
But the mistakes that we all made with everyone else, hopefully it helps your learning curve, right, a little quicker, right? And that's what I meant. Like, it's really hard to teach that in a tutorial video. That's where I meant. I think you'd walk away almost more frustrated than having literally experience. Like even someone like Harry, who's tremendously experienced, right? Like he'll say, 5 minutes with you is the same as 3 hours of tutorials trying to figure it out on my own. And that's why these calls are so valuable, right?
Right.
Do you have anything else left before I go to Terry Marie?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. And also, again, let me recommend, and I said this yesterday, for those of you that do want a one-on-one training session, because maybe this time is not always convenient, if my calendar is open, feel free to book, a session for us to take you through whatever issues that you have or onboarding process you will, if the time's available. Happy to do that. Okay, Terry, I lost it. I can't, yeah.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Yesterday I noticed when we were on that script box is there. And afterwards I created one, but the script is not in the script box of the edit talking photo section.
Same thing.
Yeah. And that's what Harry just, validated that it is working for him. So I don't know why it necessarily didn't work for you, but.
And that's for all three subscriptions?
Yes. Yeah. It
It's
has
not-
nothing to do with
okay.
the level of subscription. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
So I can't answer the specific other than at least Harry validated that it works first. I don't know if it works. Okay.
Okay. And then a second one, you never really talked about it I lost it. Where exactly the AI invites?
Don't have that released yet. We actually had that built out and introduced it in the very beginning. And then I just wasn't happy with the UX. So I pulled it back, and that's something that we'll revisit. There's a couple of things that we decided to hold back on. AI invites, and we also held off on when someone comes into a webinar, we actually had an interactive webinar person that was able to welcome your guests and explain to them what the meeting was come on. And it was the coolest thing I ever saw, and still is. But the problem is, if someone doesn't have great Wi-Fi, they're just staring at that person, right? There's a 15 or 20-second delay, right? It just consumes way too much bandwidth when you have a lot of people on it. And so the technology needs to get better as opposed to us, because then it turns from a great experience into a clunky one. So that's why sometimes we invent it. It works in our test pilot, but real world is always a wake-up call. Yep.